Flight Risk is the Mark Wahlberg mega blockbuster thriller.
You think he's there to help? He's there to shoot you down.
Where he can show the world he can be a fake pilot while trying to take out a key witness at the same time.
Psycho killer.
We will dive into the movie review of Flight Risk, where protecting a key witness in the air and learning how to fly is not an easy task.
Y'all need a pilot?
Psycho killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Directed by the lethal weapon himself, Mel Gibson, the stars of the movie are as follows: Mark Wahlberg as the pilot, Michelle Dockery as Harris, and Topher Grace as Winston. The movie starts off in Alaska as Winston watches the microwave like his television, waiting for his dinner to warm up. Second later, he gets a visitor who wants to check on him to see how he was doing. It was this moose trying to protect him, but Winston was scared to death of this moose. All of a sudden, Harris, who is a U.S. Marshal, shows up with her team and apprehended Winston.
Police! You're all under arrest!
Winston wanted immunity and protection because he does not want to get killed. Winston is part of a key witness in a big case, so it makes sense for him that he's asking for protection since he's worked for accounting and works for the big boss and client.
I have to get him to New York so he can testify against the Moretti crime family.
The next day, Winston and Harris are on a private plane heading to Anchorage but waiting for a pilot. This pilot shows up asking a whole bunch of questions.
I never flew U.S. Marshal before. Why is he all chained up?
When you have someone who just came in and asked a bunch of questions, you tend to get suspicious of them. There were things during the flight that the pilot was doing that made Harris suspicious, like asking why Winston's all tied up in chains. Navigating system went down in flight, and constantly looking at her like he wanted to flirt with her.
Is it always this bumpy?
You know, a number of passengers have left their lunch up here. I can open a snack bar.
What's worse is Harris seeing the scratch on the back of his ear, and she says this.
Your neck okay? You got a scratch there.
Maintenance. Occupational hazard.
Pilot just brushed that off like it's nothing. Also, she's seen a spot on his left arm like he's been shot by a gun.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Winston see a ID license that looks like someone else's name, who is Daryl Boo. And now he knows that the pilot is an imposter trying to kill him. Harris asked the pilot a question which was a test to see if he knew the answer. From that point on, she knew that they had been compromised by the way he answered that question. And we have a fight in midair. The pilot knocked her out for a few minutes. Winston tried to make a deal with the pilot, but he's not having none of that because he does not care about any of that.
Moretti is very disappointed in you, Winston, and he wants you dead.
Few seconds later, Harris wakes up from being knocked out and decides to tase the pilot and tie him with handcuffs. Now, Harris and Winston is caught in a dilemma. First dilemma, Harris or Winston cannot fly the airplane. The second one is Harris shoots the pilot, he'll be dead and they probably die too since neither one know how to fly the plane. The third is Harris shoots the pilot and miss, he can ricochet inside the plane or hit a glass, which leads to pressure result in everybody crashing the plane. Fourth, they are in the air in the middle of nowhere. Harris called her friend and explained the situation. They had been compromised and need help learning how to fly the plane because the pilot definitely will not help her.
Mayday, mayday. We've been compromised. The pilot's a hitman. Tell me how to fly this thing, or we will die out here.
Clearly, you've mistaken me for somebody who actually gives.
Harris gets a call from some dude who's going to help her fly the plane, but talk about buying drinks and flirting with her at the same time. Look, dude, she has a bigger problem on the plane and she don't need you worry about stupid drinks or being flirty.
Stop flirting. It's not happening. Jeez.
While Harris is learning how to fly and Winston freaking out on the plane, The pilot decided to bring up dirt about Harris' shady past, which made her so mad that she beat him senseless for a while. Her shady past was she broke protocol, which landed her behind the desk.
What you did broke protocol.
Winston had a shady past that involved him being an accountant that helping the crime boss for money laundering, scamming some people out of their money, which the director at Harris' job may have something to do with it.
Confirm for me the existence of a money laundering scheme.
Winston also wants his mom to be protected because she could be next on their hit list. The bad guy really trying to take out Winston so they can avoid the courtroom at all possible costs. If Winston survives, he is supposed to testify against the guy, which I don't even care to learn about.
I have to get him to New York so he can testify against the Moretti crime family.
While Harris learning how to fly and taking instructions, the pilot somehow got loose, shanked Winston twice,
Pieces.
and have another fight with Harris, and Harris shoot him with a flare gun and handcuff him to a chair again.
They're gonna need the entire forensics team to identify you.
The good news is she kept the pilot in bay and kept the plane airborne. The bad news is Winston is bleeding pretty badly and needs to go to a hospital. Harris decided to make the decision to land the plane, risking the amount of fuel in the plane. At the same time, Harris finds out who's behind the whole killing Winston thing, which is her boss. However, she also blamed her friend who was trying to help her but guessed wrong and her friend cussed her out.
But you one crazy ass.
The race against time to land the plane and the pilot gets loose again trying to kill her, but this time Harris shoots a couple rounds at him to keep him at bay again. She landed the plane so badly that the wheels and the door completely breaks open, which leads to the pilot flying outside of the plane and landing on the landing pad. Pilot is still alive for a second, but this happened.
Then you can just drop dead.
Although she landed the plane badly, Winston is taken to paramedics where she meets the guy who was helping her with the flying lessons the whole time. But see a suspicious character going to the ambulance where Winston was heading. He was going to the same ambulance where Winston was going. Harris' spidey senses tingling caused her to chase the dude down and she shoot him because he was trying to take Winston out. And the movie ends. There is one word that I would describe this movie. Basic. This movie is so basic that a caveman can do it. You have Harris, who have trust issues, had to protect Winston to take down a criminal in court.
I have to get him to New York so he can testify against the Moretti crime family.
Her job becomes harder for a few reasons. Number one, Winston was basically unknown and he was whining about everything, and he talks a lot. And I wish Harris would slap some sense into her or knock him out.
What did the 5 fingers say to the face?
What?
Slap!
Number two, she's also had to deal with the pilot who was a loose cannon and talks too much, and he was trying to kill her by using somebody else's identity.
You think it's there to help? It's there to shoot you down.
How can you have two people talk so much on the same plane? 3. She also needs to learn how to fly the plane, which stresses her out, and have people in her line of work wanting to assassinate Winston above 3,000 feet in the air. One issue I had with Mark Wahlberg's character, it was never explained what his real name was or his storyline. They just have him taking another man's identity and trying to sabotage everything. Winston's mom, which we do not know her name, is probably used as leverage to get to Winston due to the shady crime which involved the director because Winston is accounted for a mobster and have laundry money for his boss and clients. For a movie that is 93 minutes long, it was lighthearted, dramatic, and some decent action scenes. The acting was pretty solid, and you have to wonder how Harris and Winston was going to get out of this situation.
Any ideas how we get out of this one?
I ranked this movie 8 stars. If you want to see more upcoming movie reviews, press the like, share, subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next movie review.
Y'all need a pilot?